Hey everybody, good energy to you guys. So my phone's playing weird games again, so we'll see how well this video comes out. But I want to talk about Tyler Durden, Fight Club, Brad Pitt, and then I probably make some other videos on Alice in Chains, Nirvana, and some of these, just all that. So Fight Club, a movie I've seen probably over a dozen times. And Tyler Durden, it's a character I was very heavily drawn to and still am to an extent. And then Brad Pitt, growing up, he was for a long time, and still kind of is, I suppose. I don't like doing favorites so much, but for a very long time, like his movies, his essence, his characters, the energy he portrayed on screen, and then the movies he chose to make. Legends of the Fall, River Runs Through It, The Mexican, Snatch. So many movies, just like I was just always very drawn to his, presence and fucking the movies he made. I always thought he'd just be kind of a cool dude to hang out with too, like just from a human perspective. And then I saw a interview he did on, I forget what show it was one of them late night shows. And I was really excited because oh, Brad Pitt's gonna do an interview and you get to see him and just see how he really is and see how he talks and this and that. And I was really surprised because he looked extremely shy. Like the interview wasn't it wasn't Tyler Durden I saw. It wasn't the dude from Snatch. It was it reminded me of just a kind of a very humble, easygoing, almost quiet, chill, fucking dude. And after that, it kind of changed me because I had this flair that he was this character that he portrays on screen. But in reality, that's just him acting. That's not really who he is. And now as I've gotten older, I'm actually, I'm glad that he's that way. I'm glad that he is that I got to see that humbleness in him through that interview. Even though I think, he even felt maybe in the interview he showed people, something that might have hurt his credibility as being Mr. Badass and all that. But you know what? That's who he is. And I also remember talks, I do think he does have that badass element because when that whole Harvey Weinstein thing was going down, I heard that this is before Brad was big, but Brad was dating somebody whom I talked to him about how Harvey would do certain things to females, and fucking Brad, he grew up in Minnesota, I believe. And so it's a very country, fucking no fuck around, very physical area to grow up in. And what I was told was that Brad told Harvey, hey man, I hear you fucking around with girls again. I'm gonna give you a whooping. So I don't want to say that Brad doesn't have that badass quality inside of him. I just think he also has that sweet, soft, compassionate side too, as well. So I wanted to share that, and then also getting into Fight Club, that movie. Taking down the capitalism, taking away the credits so that we all go back to zero, all that. That's a very ideal and appealing notion. But the one thing that it's just not fully ciphered because they don't talk about the lesson of humanity and how we can actually implement a society that's based off of not money, but love and taking care of each other and having empathy for one another. And what capitalism does in a larger perspective to the psyche, into the area, into the overall collective. That's the one thing about that movie that kind of bummed me out is it ends right at the climax of them, seeing the towers falling down and, he shoots himself in the face, and it was very much just for cinematic effect, I think. Now, I didn't read the whole book, so I don't know if there's more in the book that the movie doesn't show, and I know movies do that a lot of times, but that character, is good for helping men, get out of their fucking, 9-to-5 jobs and fucking all this pussyfoot and shit and doing things they don't like to do. And I do think there's an element to fighting and physical combat that can help bring out your true warrior self and also just help you develop a relationship with others and just, turn into a badass. However, there's more to the overall problem than just fighting and blowing up buildings and all this and that. So, I just wanted to mention those words and to pay too much attention to those things without dealing with the softer side of life can be self-destructive as well. And then again, with Alice in Chains and Nirvana, and